Welcome to our second episode of the IGTV stuff that we're doing here, that I'm doing. So I'm really excited to have everybody on here. It's super awesome for me to be able to have the opportunity to do something like this, use technology how we've been using it, and yeah, today's episode is about balancing school, work, and personal life. It's a lot to sometimes manage. And I'm really excited for our speakers that are joining today, which is Melissa and um, Anthony. So let's go ahead and invite Melissa to join. She just waved at me. Feel free to join Melissa to get this started. Hopefully you're able to find the button somewhere on there to join the live. Oh, there it is. She sent request to be live. Are you ready, Melissa? This is going to get exciting. Let's see. We're waiting on her. Hopefully technology is really nice to us, which has been so far.
Hi.
Here you are.
This is my first time, so please excuse this lighting.
I know how to turn on the light. I opened the windows, but you know how the lighting outside hasn't been the great for all of us.
Yeah,
Bay Area.
exactly. Happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for joining. It's been a long time having to have you participate in one of our ATC things. But
He's been trying to convince me for the last 6 months, I think. I'm finally here.
yes. So can you feel free to introduce yourself? Who are you? What do you do? What do you do at KIP?
Definitely. So my name is Melissa Salgado, as you may or may not know. I am the Director of Advocacy and Community Engagement. So I work really closely to our family. So I know you do a lot of work with our students and alumni, but the majority of my work is working with families and the community-based organizations, trying to build resources and support for families and students. That's what I do.
That's awesome. I've always told you and your team, the ACE team and KTC have always been somehow connected, and we need to continue supporting each other in everything that we do together.
Agreed. Definitely. Thank you. It's as I mentioned, like supporting students on a different level and then supporting families. It's not very different when you think about it. You put it into perspective. So I also appreciate the work that KTC does.
No, thank you. Yeah, because I always tell my students, you are a student, but you're a person before that, and in that they have a family, and you support and provide that guidance to the families. We do
Yep.
to the students, but that means when the students come to us, this means they don't have a family. They do have a family, which eventually hopefully had gone and got those resources from your team. But
For
talking
sure.
about college, well, we're
Yes.
here. Tell us a little bit about you. Like, what college did you attend? What was your major?
Yeah.
Who is Melissa? Like, what college?
So I'm a gaucho. I went to UC Santa Barbara. I graduated back in 2013, actually. So not too long ago, but also not too recent. So I went to UC Santa Barbara straight after high school. I majored in, so funny story, I almost finished my major in history, but ended up switching the year before I graduated to Chicano
Wow.
studies. Yeah, it was a very interesting switch. I never thought I would do that. I always thought I would be like a history major, a history teacher. It's crazy how the world works. But yeah, that's what I majored in. What else do you want to know about my college days?
That's super
Other
awesome. Yeah, for me as well. I'm a Spanish major. I graduated bachelor's and master's in Spanish. But I always had an interest, for lack of guidance, I had no idea, but I always had an interest in history, more
Mhm.
particular Latin American history, and Chicana studies, Chicanx studies. But while as an undergrad, I really, like I said, a lack of guidance. I didn't have a advisor to tell me, hey, there's
Yeah.
options. So I ended up sticking with Spanish and doing minors in the majors that I just told you, in Chicana studies and Latin American studies, not necessarily history.
Yeah,
But I didn't know that about you. That's super awesome. We'll definitely have to talk more about that in a future conversation. Maybe not,
for sure.
but a future conversation for sure.
For sure, definitely.
But
Um,
yeah.
no, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry, no.
Pasa, it's fine.
Okay. Okay. Well, as an undergrad, you said you went to UC Santa Barbara, and how was it for you? Did you to find balance? Like, you took classes, obviously. Did you work? How did you pay
Yeah.
school? Did you need to work?
That's a good question. So I thankfully was able to get support through financial aid, and it wasn't enough. So I definitely had to work. I had the opportunity. They provided me with my financial aid package with work study. And so it was interesting because, again, like you just mentioned, I didn't have anyone to really tell me what work study was or the importance of it or how does that balance off like the financial aid piece. But I took out loans too, so I did everything. I worked 4 jobs while I was there, 2 at a time most of the time. My first year, because I didn't know any better, or not that I didn't know any better, but I didn't know what work study was. I ended up getting a job in downtown Santa Barbara, which was at Bath and Body Works, which is great. I worked retail before that, so I had experience. But it was really tough. It was tough for me to manage my class schedule and then also be able to go to work on time. Most of the time, I was only able to work nights or weekends, which was really tough because the bus wouldn't run at the times that I was able to work. So I ended up having to cut a lot of hours, which was not helpful because I needed money for school, for books. So at the time, my husband now at the time was, we're just dating. He was like, hey, like I know about work study. You should look into it if you have it part of your package. So I was like, huh, what? So I started doing research and um, funny story, second year of college, I was in a Chicano studies class with a one of my professors, Teresa Figueroa. Shout out, she's amazing. I love her. Um, and she was like, working with migrant farm workers in Santa Maria. And I was like, can I volunteer? It ended up being a paid internship. And so it was like organizing, community organizing farm workers. We ended up doing a lot of work with them. I hosted a lot of house meetings. And so I got a lot of my experience there. That grant ended, and she was like, hey, you're amazing. I love you. But we have to like shut the program down. We don't have enough grants anymore. So she introduced me to the Multicultural Center, the programs director, and then I started working at the Multicultural Center. So that's a little bit about like how I got into work study. It changed my life, to be honest, like my schedule, because it was on campus. They were so flexible. I was able to come in 2 hours and then go to class and then come back to work. So it worked out amazing. I ended up meeting a lot of really great folks and just learning a lot about social injustices and how we can really push that agenda on campus. So anyway, great experience. It helped with my resume. So definitely.
So I'm hearing a lot of things. You mentioned work study. You mentioned obviously the opportunity to work on campus, which brought a lot of network and opportunities that potentially working outside of campus may not have brought come to you. And I think you mentioned one more thing, which was having to buy books and financially not being enough. You lived on campus, I assume.
The first year, yes, and then I moved out to a local apartment.
And how does someone find a work study job? What does that look?
Yeah. Well, I think, and this comes down to like like my recommendations to current students is, get to know your professors. A lot of them are very much involved on campus. They can also support you with like figuring out campus life. I didn't know a lot about UC Santa Barbara. I'm the first of 4 to ever go to to go into like a higher education. So They helped me navigate, like Teresa Figueroa. There's a few more professors that really helped me navigate I would say like the work study piece. You know, she's like, hey, providing me opportunities. So I would recommend connecting with like your department even and asking your department leads if they know of any opportunity, especially if you know or have an idea what you want to get into, right? For work. Hi, Jess. Sorry, I just saw her join. I highly recommend it because that's how I got the experience that I was able to attain. And it has helped me in the job that I have now, which is Director of Advocacy and Community Engagement. So
Would you
connect with
say?
everybody. Sorry?
No, no, no. Would you say that your internship with Teresa Figueroa was the start of your career right now?
Yes,
You know how much?
100%. Community organizing, you know, working with the farm workers there, there were, you know, many of them were immigrants from Mexico. And I started getting to know them and then their students. We actually ended up hosting a lot of town halls for the students as well and how to apply to college. And, you know, they were first gen students just like me. So it like really opened my eyes to like, community and also like the importance of education, especially with the communities that I worked with. So for sure, 100%.
Awesome, awesome. I completely agree. I think when I speak to my students about work study, let's say we're doing the financial aid application, I tell them, hey, you want to also click the box for work study? And they're like, oh, no, I don't know. Like maybe
Yeah.
like, put yes. Like you never know. Like if an opportunity comes on campus, it's so beneficial. But sometimes my students don't really see that. They see that
Yeah.
outside jobs are provide faster thing, maybe pay more. I don't know, but I really want them to hear this that getting a job on campus is not a bad thing.
No.
Get a lot of out of it, just like you did.
And fun fact, I actually was getting paid more on campus than I was at my job at Bath and Body Works. So I highly recommend it. You meet so many great folks. I ended up doing so much work after that, you know, working with the programming director. I became her assistant. And then she left to a different department and she took me with her. So it was more opportunities that came after that. And shout out to Viviana Marzano, UCSB. Love her. She literally guided me. So it's beyond work. I think when you create connections on campus, folks who understand what you're going through and understand what you're navigating, it is beneficial because they can also serve as a mentor and support.
Yes, I think these are all great tips for, especially for just like yourself, myself, first generation college students, first in our family. Again, like I told you, for lack of guidance, because I didn't have family members who had gone through this process, or anyone that I knew that could have had gone through this process. A lot of exploring from my part, sounds like for you as well, and just hearing from my classmates, ignoring them maybe on anything they were doing, and I think our students. I'm not saying that they have it easier because they have me or whatnot, but it's about exploring. Yes, they have me. No, no, no.
Yes,
It's about
it's
exploring
so true
and
though.
putting yourself out there. No, it's putting yourself out there as well.
Yeah, and I think that I wish, right, that I would have known about work study and the benefits from it, and how that would change even like my just well-being and safety. You know, as a woman, um, driving or like not driving, but taking the bus at like 8 p.m. into the downtown. It's you know. So anyway, I really do highly recommend that folks, even if they don't have work study, right? Like trying to find opportunities on campus is super helpful. Yes, Stephanie, first gen students, hashtag.
So, to kind of wrap up this piece and having you in our channel for today in our video is any last minute advice or last advice for students in finding
Yes.
that balance of working and being a student at the same time.
Yes, I wrote them down. So I'm looking at my little note. Um, my biggest one, as I mentioned again, I'll mention it again, is work on campus if you can. Honestly, it opens up opportunities, and you meet folks who are just going through the same things that you are. Honestly, so it's really great. Prioritize your class schedule. So if you have a job that is not working with your class schedule, like the reason you are there is for your studies and your education. So prioritize it as much as you can. I understand some folks, can't prioritize, classes versus like making money and making ends meet. But if you can, please do so. And then get to know your professors. I swear I can go down a whole list of folks that like I would bother during my office hours. Um, Ralph Armbruster, Teresa Figueroa, like they're all amazing folks that I still keep in contact with, and it's it's great to have that support system. And then last but not least, I would say make sure that you are consistently building out your resume, especially when you're getting to that like last year of college. I waited till after to like try to figure out like what did I do these 4 years, right? Other than work and go to school. And so that's another I guess best practice that I wish I would have known.
Awesome, awesome. They're great advice, and thank you so much for being part of this little piece of video for advice for our students. And I hope we get to see you in any future other ones for any of the topics. Maybe the resume one. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Send them to me. I edit so many on a daily basis. I'm happy to help for sure. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
inviting me. Um,
much for being part of this.
I was nervous because this is my first live, and I see that some of my friends did join. So,
Oh
hello,
no,
world.
no, they're still here. I mean, we have 4 people viewing, but millions and millions will watch this after. So,
I hope my professors do. All right, Ben. So glad to see you.
you.
Happy to see you. Bye.
Bye. Right, so now we're Melissa left. Thank you so much, Melissa, for being part of this movement that we're doing here, and now waiting on Anthony. So Anthony, if you can hear me, feel free to click join. I don't know what the button looks like since I've never done this on the other side. So, but yeah, waiting on Anthony, and I think Melissa brought a lot of good tips about working on campus, work study. She mentioned, or I don't know if she mentioned or not, but working on campus really makes it really easy. At least when I worked on campus, the opportunity that I had to work on campus, I had the opportunity to just walk to work and then walk to class. Oh, yeah, I have to go to class. Where's your class? And I was working, right? Where's your class? Oh, it's upstairs because it's in the same building. Super awesome, super chill. People are usually really understanding of, they understand that you're a student versus when I worked in retail in Hollister or Macy's, they'll be like, well, your shift is your shift. And if you can't come in, you have to find someone to cover your shift. And I was like, freaking out. So for me, always school came first. And obviously I came first, but then school came after. All right, here comes Anthony, waiting for him to kind of like load into the video. Pretty excited. Haven't seen him or spoken to him in forever. And
Hey, how are you?
how's it going?
It's going really well. And just like Melissa, this is my first live ever. So
Yeah.
this is gonna be fun. So I was on my laptop, but apparently I need to request you for my phone. So let me.
It's probably the easiest thing to do via phone. I've been on Instagram on your laptop, and it's a lot funky. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, it's been awful. But man, you look good. You look like you've been getting some sun.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I've been like losing some weight. I did gain some pounds, this quarantine pounds, and then been trying to eat more salads.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Try to take care of
I have not done that.
marriage life. You know how that is.
Uh-huh.
You will hopefully know how that is soon.
Yeah, this week has been our binge eating week. I'm going to get catfish after this. So but yeah, super excited to be here and to chat with folks.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being part of this. Like I told Melissa, like this is like a different. We're trying to change the way that we do the work in KTC, and I hope this could be part of that change, that movement that we're doing to try to still support students, even if we don't get to see them every day because of pandemic or whatnot. And it's 2020, unfortunately, not such a great year, but the technology could facilitate many of these opportunities to happen. And really excited for you to be here because I think, again, I think you bring such a great experience. And yeah, man, like, so tell me like a little bit about you. Like what colleges did you attend? What was your major?
I attended the amazing whenever you talk about the HBCU, the person's going to say they attended the illustrious. I attended the illustrious Xavier University of Louisiana. It's located in New Orleans, Louisiana. I was a political science major, and I was an English minor, a creative writing minor.
Wow. See, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I mean, I can always look at your LinkedIn and stuff and see it, but I didn't know that.
It doesn't do it justice.
And are you originally, where are you originally from? Are you from
Yeah.
the Coast, East Coast?
So I'm born and raised in Compton, California. So I'm a California, I'm a son of Compton, straight out of Compton. And so really from LA, then I went to school in New Orleans, and then just been bouncing around, and finally came back to California about 4 years ago.
Mm. So, okay, so you're from SoCal, and then you left to the East Coast, like kind of, what is it considered, like south, right? Southeast? South?
Southeast to New Orleans, and then did some traveling around the country, working in Houston and New York City and Boston, back to Houston, and then to the Bay Area. So my college education definitely enabled me the ability to travel across the country and to do some really important work with some good organizations.
So when you traveled to New Orleans as a freshman in college, how was, did you have to work to pay for the rest, to live on campus, to be a student at Xavier?
Yeah, so like you and like Melly, I'm the first generation college student, the youngest in my family, and so I was so no one had done anything before like that, and so leaving LA to go to New Orleans was an expense. And while I was in school, the first semester of college was Hurricane. And then after Hurricane Katrina, my pops passed away, and so there was a lot of financial stress on me after the freshman year, and I was going to drop out. But then I got a job working at Red Lobster, and I'm not sure if you guys know about Red Lobster, but so I got a job working at Red Lobster, and that really subsidized my living. But then staying on campus was too expensive, so I stayed on campus my freshman and sophomore year. That was about $28,000 a year, and so instead of doing that, my junior year, I decided to move out and cut that tuition in half and use my earnings from Red Lobster to pay for my rent and my living expenses.
Mm. And you kept at Red Lobster for like your undergrad, like all your years as an undergrad?
Yep, off and on. And the beauty about working at Red Lobster is, or working a service job waiting, was that I was on my own schedule. I can go a couple times a week, or I can only work on the weekends. Most weekends I would make $600 between Friday and Sunday. And so I told my students when I was a teacher, that, hey, if you are in a bind in college and you have a lot of time to work at 9 to 5 or every day, just get a waiting job. You can make hundreds of bucks in a weekend. And for me, my rent was like $500. So working one weekend would pay my rent.
Rent's not like that here anymore, right?
Right. $500 in New Orleans is different than $1,500 here in the Bay Area, I recognize.
$500 here is like in the closet probably, or like
not even a porch.
The restroom. So you mentioned obviously being on the other side of the country. Unfortunately, the unfortunate things that happened, right, with Hurricane Katrina, and then your father passing away. How did you find like balance with school, work, and life? Like that sounds like a lot to take. But how did you able to manage and continue to persist with all that happening?
So with school, just like Melissa said, being really strict about your schedule. So I had my planner, everything was written down. I had all of my syllabi like listed, and first thing I did once I got my syllabi in the beginning of the semester, I put them all on my calendar. All the due dates for papers, tests, whatever I had to do, I put it on that calendar. So that's how I organized my school life. And then I put in, buffer time for studying, knowing that, I'm a nerd, like I need to put time to study so I can like really be successful. And then I layered in my social life. And social life for me was joining clubs. So I really would encourage joining clubs as a way to socialize yourself in an organization or on campus. So work was a couple times a night during the weekdays and then the weekends. So I had to be really strict about my study time, be really strict about attending classes. My social life was joining the NAACP in college, and then and I married friendship life and study life. So you go to the library with your friends instead of like studying and then trying to rush to study to go hang out with your friends. You guys get it together, get your Takis and your hot Cheetos and get your Mountain Dew, and you sit in the library and study together. And then of course, if you have to work, definitely get that job, but make sure that your boss knows that you're in school and that they allow you to work and the schedule that allows you to maximize your education.
Do you feel like being so it sounds like you were pretty busy, like school, study, being in clubs, work, did that help you like just keep like not falling behind? Like, okay, I have all these things I got to do, it's on my planners, everything, like, okay, you never had like 3 to 4 hours just to like chill, like to do nothing and like, well, I'm just here just hanging out.
Yeah, I think if you have too much time to just be chilling, hanging out, you're not doing something right in college. I'm not saying pack your schedule with stuff, but I'm saying it's really important that you get everything that you can. You have 4 years to have the best time of your life, and the best time of your life is learning and being free and questioning all the things that you can't question once you get a 9 to 5 and you got to make some real money, right? So I took that as a time to really maximize my time. And you're around thousands of people who come from different backgrounds, who think differently. And so it's really important that you, for me, it was important that I talked to everybody around me, that if I had to work, I did work, but I didn't work more than I needed to. And so, yeah, so it's not about having so much time to chill and having an easy time. It's about really filling your time with meaningful things. And laughter is meaningful. Humor is meaningful. Chilling is meaningful. All those things are meaningful, but make sure that it's not, that you're not chilling so much that you don't study and you fail.
Having like your priorities, right? Like, okay, this is what comes first is obviously, like I said earlier, you come first.
Mm-hmm.
And in school, obviously you need money to pay for this or to pay for that. That needs to be a priority. And if you don't have time for friends, because you know how it can be with peer pressure with friends of like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you know, you don't hang out anymore, you change and so that, like, you have to worry about you. And then if you have time to hang out with some people, then you can hang out with some people, but that shouldn't be the priority. Oh yeah, my friends, and then I can worry about school and stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, college is the one time and the first time in a lot of our lives where we're able to be free. We don't have to be around mom and dad telling us what to do. We can really carve out our identity. So sometimes the folks that you hung out with in high school are not the folks that you want to hang out with in college. People want you to chill and do whatever. You may not want to do that anymore. So you may want to, I don't know, play Dungeons and Dragons, or you may want to like get into theater, whatever it is. So be free. So this is an opportunity for you to be free in college. So don't waste it trying to please anybody but yourself.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think in college, I didn't have many people from my high school or from where I'm from to go to the same college that I attended. So, like you said, it was at first for me kind of intimidating because I didn't know anybody. But then slowly and slowly, once I got involved and I met more people and I started joining things, I'm like, okay, like putting myself out there, my mind opened up more than where I'm from. Like where I'm from, I had this mentality. Now I'm like, all these new things, like what? There's this? I didn't even know. I only thought San Jose was the airport in Greater America. But wait, there's all these things. This is awesome. So just little examples like that of like Melissa said, like connecting with professors and doing internships, and like it opens your mind to so many things. And college is a short moment in your life where you can, like you said, be free and have a job and relax and not relax and make mistakes and learn and find yourself. Because after the college is over, all these responsibilities happen. You know, yeah, I pay this, I have to pay that, I have to work this. Oh, I can't eat this no more because you know it shows.
Right.
It definitely it's a great, it's a time in our life that we have to enjoy, but enjoy it well and still be disciplined, like you were saying.
Yep, absolutely.
You don't want to just enjoy and continue living that life forever. That doesn't work like that for a lot of us.
Right. Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, we are at 12:59. I do want to respect the time. And thank you so much for joining me in this. It's super awesome to talk to you. We still need to hang out.
We do.
After outside of this. And I know the live pandemic, and when you look out the window, it doesn't look like the best thing right now. But friendships like this and still being able to connect with people is what pushes us to continue doing these things and having that energy to live every day and be positive.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for the work that you're doing. I see Stephanie does have a question if you want to answer it. I'm not sure if you wanted to answer it, but
Yeah.
you may answer it several times. But yeah, thank you so much, Benjamín. I mean, this is really important, and I love the kids of KIP, and so definitely anything for them and for you, of course.
Thank you so much. Likewise, sending some love to you as well, and stay safe, man. And I'm here if you need anything.
Yes, sir. All right. Send love to your wife as well. All
Thank
right. Bye-bye.
you. Bye. So Stephanie says, what advice do you have for students who find themselves working full-time and doing full-time school virtually? How can they stay motivated during these times? It's tough. It's definitely tough. I might not have like the best advice. Oh, this is a perfect answer for you. This is gonna resolve all your those questions, those problems. But I would just say, just trying again, just like this video, it's about finding balance. Like there was days for me when I had, just like Melissa, 2 to 3 jobs, and I was involved on campus, and it wasn't virtual, but I was taking maybe an online class and taking all these classes and having a relationship and then family pressures, and it definitely felt like it was a lot. It kept me busy, but at the end of the day, like there was days where I was just like, you know what, close the laptop, throw the book away, not away, but put it away, and just focus on you. Like just watch Netflix, play some video games, whatever you're into. Take time for yourself, because we definitely need time for for ourselves in order for us to be able to find that balance, because we're not machines here. We're definitely people. We have feelings. We have there's days that are good days, there's days that are not the best days, and it's just about then finding that balance. Just really take that with all of you. Like Melissa said, working on campus, um, those opportunities come, take them, network, like Anthony said. If you don't have, like, if you don't want to like find all that like stress, then write it all down. Like look at your syllabus, put it on your calendar, have a planner. If you have a job on offsite campus, maybe a waiter or waitress job could provide the tips, like I mentioned in other conversations with my students. So definitely take advantage of all those opportunities. You have your KTC advisor for those of you who are still in KIP, and let us know. So yeah, during right now school virtually, again, just finding that balance and taking time for yourself will help you hopefully feel that energy the next day. So it is time. I think it is time for us to wrap this up. I really thank everybody so much for tuning in. Thank you once again, Melissa, Anthony, and the next video is going to be in 2 weeks. I think the video is going to be about your resume or being a successful 2-year student. So I also have to think about that, but really excited for that, and continue supporting us, supporting this process, and remember to find your purpose.